guys, so today we've got something new and it's a little disclaimer.
Certain terms and conditions apply. As an act of full disclosure, please note this is an unboxing reenactment of this item and is originally
So let's do an unboxing. Got my trusty, should I use that? Let's use that. I was going to use the knife, but I'll use that. Or maybe not use that, let's use the knife because that's not sharp enough. Here I don't want to cut what's inside, which you know obviously it's the lens, but let's do that and let's do that. Oh, there we go, pop. Okay, let's get rid of that because that's quite sharp. It wasn't brought brand new, I did buy it second hand, but I normally tend to buy the best condition ones in second hand, so they work out a bit cheaper, and you'll see it comes with the box and everything. So I've got a box and there's a separate hood, I think. There we go. So your hood that I've got there is the Canon EF-712. So that hood is quite necessary for this Canon 50mm 1.4 because there have been reports about its focus ring having issues. So because of that, I've made sure I've got the ring, the shade for it, hood even, using the proper terminology. So there we go, 50mm 1.4, and let's see, it's in good condition, so I should have everything, I think, apart from maybe possibly the leaflet. So that's just coming out there. I'll put the box out the way. It comes in a little foam insert. Yep, good, that's the top. So you can see there, that's the lens. Get rid of the little foams. There's a bit of paper in there which you don't really want to see, but hood. So I'll put the hood, well, let's take the lens off first, shall we? Lens off. It's got a filter already attached, which is a Hoya HMC 58mm. You can probably barely see that, but that's this. If I put the hood on now, that's what it's like with the hood on, and you can probably see straight through that there. 1.4 at its fullest. Great little lens. If you're looking for a 1.4, there's a few options at the moment out there. You can get the 1.8, which is similar, is quite close in terms of build. It's quite light, and I've had that for a bit, so I don't really like it if I'm out about shooting. But this lens, the 1.4, it's a mid-ground between the price range. Obviously 1.2 is available as well, but on these you're looking at about 250 quid now. If you find a good deal on them, you'll get them for that, probably 190 if you're pushing it in bad condition. But yeah, so this will give you really nice crystal clear footage and photos. I may put some sample photos at the back of this little review. But yeah, that's an unboxing. 1.4 Canon. That you would have guessed, it is of course 50mm 1.4, smack bang in the middle. So you've got the 1.8, which I've got rid of and sold. 1.2 got rid of and sold. Main reason, one is like Mr. Bean, one is like Arnold Schwarzenegger. I've got the middle ground. Who would be a good middle ground? Oh, I didn't think about it, did I? So the middle ground would be someone like, who's good these days? Jason Statham, maybe, possibly. So like in between, not too big, not too skinny, kind of good role model, I think. I haven't seen latest news, so maybe he's not a good role model. Who knows? Okay, so anyway, that, because it's in between, it's not really heavy. Imagine 1.2 here. It's not really light. Imagine 1.8 here. So the reason I've kept this one and sold the others is because if you go somewhere for a shoot and turn up with the 1.2, you're gonna, and the rest of your kit, it's heavy lens, it's a big lens, and because of the 1.2 focusing range and the distance where the blur takes effect if you're shooting at a fully open 1.2, that is, it's a hit and miss, so you need to take a few shots before you get it bang on. So in the fashion industry, catwalks, etc., you've got one chance as they're coming up and down, so 70 to 200 without a doubt, and 24 to 70 for wides, and then the 1.4 for the in-between fillers, so backstage, etc. Really good in low light. 1.2 also good, but I trust, and I've achieved a lot more better photos with this, which is why I've kept it. Maybe down to experience. 14-15 years now I've been doing photography, so I'm still probably learning, possibly. but it's more of a preference, I think. So because it feels about right, it looks about right, it's fine. The 1.8, that's a bit hectic, it's a bit lightweight, perfectly fine. A lot of people use it, there's no problems with it, but if you turn up with that and the loud focusing noise that it makes, it sounds like it's having a heart attack, it's a vibrating phone. There you go, that's the reason. So I haven't gone too technical there to explain the differences, but based on using all three and keeping this the longest, that tells you all you need to know. It's not giving me any issues, and really good lens. So what I would suggest is getting a hood if you don't already have one. I think it comes in the box with the hood. I can't remember when I got it in the box. The box is up there. But yeah, the focusing ring is the inner section there, you can see. So if you keep bringing it down in your bag face down, there's been reports that it can cause issues with the motor, but this hood, the good thing about the hood is if you notice how it goes on the outside, and then the ring can still turn. I'll do a close up. The ring turns on the inside, so if you lay that down in your bag like that, no problem, and it's not going to be any problems. So if you're thinking about getting a lens, it's not even a case of money, because I think the 1.2 is about £700-800 now if you get that, pick it up. It's just a case of carrying weight around. If you've got a lot of kit, it's heavy, and are you getting the return based on the weight? But if you turn up somewhere with a red ring, obviously you look like a professional, so it looks, if that's your thing, then go for it. And 1.8, if you're learning, and it's, for the price you can't get anything better, but if you want to get something respectable in between, then this is going to be option. Boom. Just slagged off the 1.2 and the 1.8, mate. Good lenses, but they are shite. Thank you.
Here's some sample images from the 50mm 1.4 Canon lens, and I'll give you a wide sample of images from my past shoots to give you an idea of what this lens can achieve. Here's one from a fashion show. It's fairly dark in the catwalk and the stage, so I shot this at 1.4. These are raw unedited photos as they came out of the camera, and you can see the widest aperture there, nice background blur. Here's a few more of the guys as they came out, and there's a few selected images. Good thing about these images are you can crop them, because you can get rid of the crowd. So here you can see the great background blur on that now there, even though there's people in the way. I kind of took a picture of his camera to show the lighting in the background, and in between the shows they have a break, so there's a stand set up. So here's some portraits with the Canon 50mm 1.4, a few shots of the stands, and then the show will start again. So this is another segment, and again here you can see the quality of the lens, clear optics and great shot. So that was low down, so I was kind of pointing upwards, and you can see there it's getting the crowd in as well. So if that's needed, you'll have a shot list and you'll know what you need to shoot, so make sure you get all the right shots. But here, yeah, so 50mm backstage shots here, a few to show you the background bokeh and just the details you can achieve with this lens. And here's one for Ooz's couture fashion blog that I did, and this one is going to be something you can use for portraits. So you can see here it's a great portrait lens, but this is actually shot with the 1.8 Canon. So just to give you a comparison, in terms of image quality there's not a big difference between the two lenses. So if you've got a 1.8 lens, you'll find the plastic nifty 50, and you can see it's great. It's just the final feel and what you think feels right. So the 50mm, I've got the 1.4, I prefer that, but these ones here were taken with the 1.8 just to give you an idea. So again, lovely shots, and they can be cropped, and in the description you can see a link to the work. This is for Ooz's couture fashion blog. It was a lookbook that we did for them. So there you go, that's an overview of some of those. I've got a few more shots here that I can show you. So this is of a BPYC Mela coverage. The 1.4 nicely isolates from the background, so if you're in a tight situation, like for example here with the crowd shots, getting the atmosphere shots, then you can see this lens can kind of bring out the subject nicely from the background. And this is a guy just dancing away in the crowd there, and you can see the background blur is nice, and the focal range is good as well in terms of using the 50mm 1.4 compared to the 1.8 to the 1.2. it's not a big difference, to be fair. You'll see a lot of reviews online. The bulk is very similar to the 1.2, and you can achieve this with the 1.4 at a lower price, obviously. So if you want to make sure this lens is on your list, because this is going to bring out some quality images for you. Again, here, this is a Photographic Society shoot I did, and you can see Birmingham Library in the background. And again, there, the nice background blur brings the subjects out nice and clean, and it kind of brings your attention to them. There's another fun image I've got here of the Apple zombie guys, because all zombies are Apple users. And you can see again there, they've got the background blur nicely, and a few more here just to kind of show you the detail of the image. So here you can see I've isolated the individual in the middle, and she's dressed as a zombie for that zombie event, and you can see the clarity of the image there inside the glasses, how good you can see the color rendition. And obviously this is a raw image shot from the camera. It's not been any edits done to this yet. So there you go, that's giving you an overview of some of those. And what you can also use the lens for is, I use it for light painting, where I actually open it up wide. This was taken at f11, just to give you an idea of how it performs from obviously the 1.4 to the higher ranges. So f11 here. I used my LED Youngnuo 300 light, where I waved it and did a long exposure on a tripod. And this was for MI Bandits. It's for Respro UK masks. It was like a pollution project that they wanted done. So here you can see these images, just to give you an idea of that. So there you go, sample photos, 1.4 Canon.